December 7th, 1941. A quiet Sunday morning in Hawaii, shattered by the roar of engines overhead. In less than 2 hours, Pearl Harbor would be engulfed in flames. Thousands would die, battleships would sink, and the question echoes through history. Why did Japan attack the United States? A decision many historians call a strategic gamble. To understand the attack, we must go back nearly a decade. Japan, after rapid industrialization, had become a militarized empire. Its leaders believed in a vision called the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere, a plan to dominate Asia and the Pacific. But there was one critical problem. Japan lacked natural resources, most importantly, oil. By 1940, nearly 80% of Japan's oil came from the United States. Meanwhile, Japan invaded China in 1937 and expanded into French Indochina in 1940. These aggressive moves alarmed the United States, setting the stage for confrontation. The United States responded. Steel and fuel exports were restricted. By July 1941, Washington had completely cut off oil shipments to Japan. For Tokyo, this was a death sentence. Without fuel, their tanks, airplanes, and navy could not operate. Japanese military planners calculated that reserves would last less than 18 months. After that, Japan would be choked, forced to surrender. And so Japan faced a stark choice: withdraw from China and Southeast Asia, or strike first to secure vital resources. The United States Navy in the Pacific stood in the way. A prolonged war would almost certainly mean Japanese defeat. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the architect of the attack, opposed war with the U.S., but he understood one truth. If Japan had to fight, the first strike must be decisive. Operation Z was planned. 6 aircraft carriers, hundreds of aircraft, sailing across the Pacific undetected. The goal: destroy U.S. battleships. Cripple aircraft on the ground. Hit fuel depots and repair facilities, neutralize the Pacific Fleet for 6 months. The time Japan needed to secure oil in the Dutch East Indies. Japanese planners believed the Americans were a complacent people, unwilling to endure major sacrifices. They expected that after a crushing blow, the U.S. might negotiate peace. This assumption would prove to be a fatal miscalculation. 6 a.m. Hundreds of Japanese planes swooped over Pearl Harbor, dive bombers, torpedo planes, and fighter aircraft. Within 90 minutes, USS Arizona exploded. USS Oklahoma capsized. West Virginia and California were severely damaged. 2,403 Americans were killed. President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress the next day, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States declared war on Japan. 3 days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the U.S. A regional conflict had become a global war. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor to counter U.S. economic sanctions, gain access to Southeast Asian oil, neutralize the Pacific Fleet, buy time for territorial expansion, but the attack had the opposite effect. It awakened the industrial might of the United States. Instead of cowing America, it galvanized a nation into war. Pearl Harbor was not only a tactical victory, it became a strategic blunder, a lesson etched in history. When diplomacy fails, war will speak for itself.